The first reveal of Natlan just dropped and I am ready to jump into the world building. So today, I want to theorize on the names of the 6 tribes in Natlan. Disclaimer, everything here is just a theory and none of it is indicative of the final product. Also, I am not at all well versed in Aztec mythology, and this is one of the first times that I'm actually getting into this topic. And I admit, it's a lot. So I would really appreciate it if you guys correct me if there are any errors in what I say and how I say it, because I'm mostly going off on surface notes and Wikipedia with little to no translation from the original source materials. And before I begin with this video, Gamerceps is releasing their mid-season Drop 6 Waifus B4 Month 6. And you can use my code Aster for a 10% off. Anyway, let's begin. From what we currently know, Natlan's lands are divided into different areas that each belong to a tribe, with battles raging all across Natlan's history for the sake of conquest. Venti describes the people of Natlan as a strong and proud people who dwell on the volcanic slopes of the west. Warriors from tribes would perform combat rites and rituals in the name of their tribe's pride and glory. And war wasn't synonymous to violence, but rather honor, passion, and fervor. In the olden days of Natlan, the Talking Stick lore mentions that there were numerous tribes, but at least 6 major ones. While it's unconfirmed if that's still the case now, I'm gonna keep that as the case presumably because of the 6 figures in the Natlan teaser. So now, I want to theorize what are the 6 names. We actually already have one name. According to the special-shaped Saurian Search World quest, one tribe in Sumeru is known as Nanatskayan, the Children of Echoes. They work as miners in the borders between Natlan and Sumeru. However, the rest is still unknown, so let's fill in the blanks. According to Wikipedia, the name Nanatskayan comes from the belief of the Nahua people, such as the Aztecs and the Toltecs, that the heavens were constructed into 13 different levels, which were constructed from Kipakli's head. The name Nanatskayan comes from Ilhuicatl Nanatskayan, where the obsidian knives are creaking. The deities that preside here have their ideals of death, storms, darkness, disasters, and even sacrifices. In its Genshin counterpart, the obsidian knives fit well in the fact that obsidian is among the primary material for technological tools in Natlan, which would bode well with this primarily being miners. So based on the 13 heavens, I want to theorize on names of the other tribes. And that brings us to the Talking Stick lore. If you haven't read it, the Talking Stick lore tells the tale of a nomadic warrior named Tenok who created a friendship of 6 warriors from the 6 tribes in order to fight a mysterious turbid black tide. Tenok believed that this calamity is much greater than anything the tribal leaders were endlessly bickering about, so he ventures to the 6 major tribes and begins to befriend warriors who would help in his venture. He meets the great runner Wanjuru and the raucous Kayeke, the brave Menelik and the faithful Ngobo, the cunning Sanhaj Kompore and the enigmatic companion Mahamba, the young Burkina and reckless Kongamato, the chief of the mine Sunjata and the sturdy companion Muhuru, and the giant Tupac, with no companion. The lore states that no mount can support his body. Unfortunately, there's little descriptors from the Talking Stick lore that would actually help us guess the name of the 13 heavens. But we can start theorizing based on categories. First is by color. Among the 13 heavens, 12 without the inclusion of Nanatskayan, there are 5 heavens that are mentioned as regions of a certain color allegorically. So if Genshin wanted to adopt this kind of naming scheme, I can definitely see this being the case. First, I want to theorize that the blue tribe we see in the trailer is based on Ilhuicatl Xoxoalco, or Ilhuicatl Xoxoalqui, and it's the blue sky we see during the day. Second is the region where I theorize that Vanessa's tribe could have originated from but broke off, Ilhuicatl Teotatlaco, the region of red. This region also has a strong connection to Xuitecutli, the god of fire, and I want to theorize that these are the children of Murata, a hardy people blessed with a head of fiery red hair. In the description for the young Burkina and his reckless companion, I also like the ideology that was taught here. The revolution should be the fate of the young, to bleed for burning justice, rather than a rotting, uncomfortable bed of grass. Definitely a nice allegory for Vanessa. The third one is Ilhuicatl Teoistak, region of white, the region of light, wisdom, fertility, knowledge, and stellar spirits. This could be where Sanhaj Kompore is from, because this interaction with Tenok was about Kompore's ability of divination. Kompore has seen his and Tenok's heroic end, and how the place that would be known as Marjavar in later days would be born. But nay, it matters little, it matters not. Perhaps there may come a day when the scoundrel made famous for being clever as a viper shall become a hero. The fourth one is a deep green space, Ilhuicatl Yayaoko. It's where the night comes and spreads, and houses the god Tezcatlipoca, god of providence and the intangible, and a lot of other things in Aztec mythology. Though it's a stretch, the best connection I have with the talking stick lore is with the giant Tupac, who had 300 scars, 20 broken bones, and over 100 shards of obsidian buried in his flesh like tiny jewels. I thought it would be a cool reinterpretation of Tezcatlipoca's translation as smoking mirror, since being the knight, he was also associated with obsidian. Also, one of the omens displayed in such divinations was Tlakaheak, or the towering man. But I can also see this being the place where Sanhat Kumpara came from, similar with the divination thing. Now, the next one is actually going to put a weird crossroads in how I define this category, particularly because Nanatkayan doesn't really belong here, but we can't remove it because it's already confirmed as a named tribe. But there's actually a region of yellow, Ilhuicatl Teocazalco, the eastern abode of the yellow god where he comes from. This region also houses Tonati, god of the fifth sun. And of course, we have Ilhuicatl Nanatkayan, the region of the miners located in the borders of Simeru and Natlan. Now, another way of theorizing for the names is by an interesting definition. You see, there is another distinction of description, the astral space. Some heavens depict where certain celestial bodies move, like the moon, the stars, and the sun. It has different symbolisms, but I think this is a good connection to Natlan's lore having fate, secrets, and hidden meanings. So if we theorize based on these, I have Ilhuicatl Tatlalokhan Metzli, or the sky where the moon moves, Ilhuicatl Tatlaliko, where the stars move, Ilhuicatl Tonatiuh, where the sun moves, Ilhuicatl Nanatkayan, where the obsidian knives are creaking, Ilhuicatl Omeyokan, the place of duality or the place of two, and Ilhuicatl Teteokan, the sky that is a place of the gods. I don't know, it seems interesting. Genshin likes their lore on stars and moons and fate, so I wouldn't put it past them. Now, another interesting possibility is that what if there are 6 major tribes, but 13 overall tribes, 1 for each heaven? That's actually really possible, like how the Ars Goetia was a material that the demon gods got their name from. There were 72 demon gods, but only 7 of them are actually the Archons. See? Neat. But that's it mostly for the names of the tribes. But what do you guys think? My name is Aster and thank you for chilling with me. Bye-bye! Okay, here's a little bonus for the people that reached the end of the video because I have an extra bit of the talking stick lore that I actually find super interesting. So basically, why this piece of lore is important, besides the mention of the 6 tribes, is that it also expands on the little cute, maybe animal companions that we saw in the trailer, or better known as the Saurians. The Saurians are the dragons of Natlan that have undergone 3 years of development, unlike the other dragons of Tivat that may or may not have bishop-centric origins. These little Saurians coexist with humanity, and in the talking stick lore, we see them as actual companions. But another inspiration for them might be in cryptozoology. Cryptozoology is a search and study of legendary, mythical animals to evaluate the possibility of their existence in our history, though with a varying level of scientific grounds for their validity. The ultimate goal of cryptozoology is studying the unknown. The companions that were mentioned in the talking stick lore are cryptids from distinct parts of Africa, each with their own interesting description. Kayake is a cryptohominid reported from the southwestern Dominican Republic of the Congo. It's an anthropomorphic primate with a similar structure to man. Ngobo is a cryptid from the region of Cameroon, similar to a rhinoceros except that it has 6 horns. Mahamba is a cryptid that's said to lurk in Lake Licoala. Kongamatos are large flying cryptids from the subtropical regions of Africa in Zambia, the Congo, and Angola. And what they might be in Genshin is a Saurian category known as Ictomesauri, or the Saurians that can fly. Muhuru is a cryptid from the jungles of Kenya, and they say it's a large beast with a thick height. That's it really. I just wanted to put it here, but I couldn't put it in the main video. Also, I'm really new to Aztec mythology, and Genshin Impact is basically my window into this side, besides maybe overly productions. It's super interesting, but I'm also very overwhelmed. For me, I want to ask what's a good book to read that's complete but concise. And if there's an English translation online for this book, Dioses Prehispánicos de México, Mitos y Deidades del Panteón Nahuatl by Angela Fernandez. It's a book in the references of the Wikipedia page that I got the 13 Heavens from. It didn't come with a free PDF and it was 3,500 pesos in Amazon, so I was wondering if anyone had any idea where I could probably get this. It's pretty old. Anyway, that's it. Happy Natlan!